Welcome to our SMA International News for the month of May. In this edition we have stories from Ivory Coast, where we get a report of an international meeting of Missionary Societies of Apostolic Life, also known as MISAL. Then to Sierra Leone, where we hear the work of the SMA, building schools for their community. And to Lyon, where we learn about a structure of reflection that has been put in place around different themes affecting the current missionary realities. And to begin, we will go to the Ivory Coast, where the Missionary Societies of Apostolic Life, of which the SMA is a member, held an intercontinental meeting. For 4 days, the participants of this ecclesial event focused on the theme Missionaries from Africa. More details in this report by Father Cohn Antoine Marie.
The Continental Meeting of Missionary Societies of Apostolic Life, MISAL, is held every 2 years. It brings together a dozen missionary societies. The 2023 edition of this Continental Meeting, co-organized by the Society of African Missions, SMA, and the Missionaries of Africa, commonly known as White Fathers, took place at the Monsignor Paul Pele Center in Abidjan. It brought together 12 superiors and vicar generals of 8 of the congregations belonging to the MISAL.
We are gathered here at Centre Paul Pele for the MISAL meeting. The MISAL is the Missionary Institutes and Societies of Apostolic Life. There are a number of them, a bit more than 20 in the whole church. We have formed an association. This one meeting here is those like the SMAs and the Missionaries of Africa, the congregation to which I belong, that go for mission ad extra. So we meet every 2 years, once at the continental level and secondly at the intercontinental level. So this one here in Abidjan is the continental level. People have come from Europe and then from Africa. The theme that we are treating during this session is mission out of Africa. And we are reflecting on the contribution of missionaries from African countries, because we have belonged to congregations that had only missionaries coming outside of Africa, but this time we have a number of Africans who are participating in mission. So this is why we chose mission out of Africa. What is the contribution of the Africans to the universal mission of the church? And this edition of 2023 of MISAL is being co-hosted, I should say, by the Missionaries of Africa and the Society of African Missions. This is why we chose to bring all the participants to Abidjan, where we have a common work, which is the ICMA. It shows also how collaborating we are among ourselves, and since both our congregations, our institutes are dedicated to the evangelization of Africa, we chose to be in a country where we have something in which we collaborate together.
I am very happy to have been able to participate this week in the meeting of the MISAL, that is, the meeting of the superiors of the Missionary Society Agentes, that is to say, missionaries working outside their countries. Today these societies are in Africa and Europe, and we are a total of 10 societies. The meeting of the superiors of these societies is always a very good moment since we can come together to share together, to pray together, to support each other, to encourage each other. With this exchange, we see today that the challenges of evangelization all over the world are the same for a certain number of our societies. And one of those challenges is security. We have missionaries who are sometimes killed for the proclamation of the gospel or for the fight for justice and peace. We see that there are common projects that can be materialized together. There is the example of two missionary societies that open a mission in North Africa. The question of internationality also came up during our discussions. And this is precisely why we are having this meeting in Africa, where most of the new missionaries come from. In our various institutes, we have a large number of seminarians preparing for, more than 1,000. Most of these seminarians come in particular from two societies, the Society of Missionaries of Africa and the Society of African Missions, SMA. And for us, the Foreign Missions of Paris, SMA is a congregation that is very close and very dear to us, because the SMA have as their founder a father of the Foreign Missions of Paris.
I am Georgina Rameau, priest of Saint-Jacques. Our general house is in France, in the region of Bretagne. I was born in Haiti, and I've been a priest for 23 years already. This is my first visit to Africa, and I'm very happy to be here in Ivory Coast. The meeting was very nice with the confreres who work in Africa, Europe, and the United Kingdom. Very nice meeting which allows us to see the dynamism of the church in this part of the world. A very important moment of sharing and exchanging, since we share the same realities, by welcoming young people who are preparing for the mission, by accompanying the ministry of our priests, sent here and there, to meet other peoples at the service of men and women in those areas. Very fraternal meeting with discussions ranging from interests for the church itself to more regional, more local and continental realities. It is a meeting that attracts, which makes one appreciate the mission as a real grace granted to men and women of our time to make Jesus known, to announce the gospel, to be sensitive to the way proper to God for revealing himself and carrying out his project of salvation for all humanity. It is a great joy to experience this here, in this property, which already says openness, since we're in an 8-hectare property. So there's room. It's a broad horizon. One thing that struck me was the question of vision to access, an even broader vision, a vision of inclusion. And it's a bit of this vision which is the missionary vision. Africa, who thinks the mission is not only for itself, but for the whole world. Here's what I experienced, and I have the great joy of sharing with everyone, or at least with those who watch this video.
The meeting, which started on April 18th, ended on April 21st with a closing mass at the SMA parish of Our Lady of the Apostles at Abobodome.
Next, we go to Sierra Leone, where the SMA saw the need to build a Catholic school in Newton Western rural area near Freetown for the spiritual and educational needs of their youth. The first part of this project is operational, with plans for further expansion.
This is the junior secondary school classroom block, which was started by the superior of the mission, Reverend Father Patrick St. Francis, with the mobilization of the church community. About 2 years ago, that we had the first set of the students who sat their junior secondary school national examination that we called PECE. The students again requested that they needed their own senior secondary school in the Catholic compound. Though we are not having any resources, but we tried our best to mobilize ourselves, our own resources, our time, in order to start for the students. So in the year 2020, we started the senior secondary school without classroom building. It has not been easy, personally, combining the pastoral work with the school administration, because the free education policy in the country now demands that parents should not pay money, like school fees again. And those school fees normally used to come to the school for the running of the school. But the free education demands that parents should not pay again school fees. So every school leader has to manage very little resources in order to administer the school. Moreover, the Catholic mission here does not have the needed funds to pay the staff, the teachers. So the school leader has to try his or her means in order to give little token to the teachers to keep them moving. And so at the end of the month, when you have to find money to give to teachers, it has been like a very big headache every end of month. Being involved in the school as administrator of the school, I am also a teacher of the school. Because of lack of teachers, I teach about 5 good subjects. I teach mathematics, I teach English, I teach religious and moral education, I teach Christian knowledge, and I teach also literature. All those subjects are very important main subjects of the junior and the senior secondary school formation. So due to lack of teachers, I have to involve myself in all this in order to fill the gap that is created. We have started with the construction of 4 classrooms. We had 4 classrooms this way, the office and the staff room. Then in some years to come, if we have the means, we'll continue with the remaining 4 classrooms, so that we'll have a design to be like this. 4 classrooms this way, 4 classrooms this way, and then the staff room and the office will be in the middle of the entire building. We have also tried to do it in such a way that we have a story building foundation. The foundation is story building. It can carry about 2 or 3 stories. So we did it this way so that in about 20 years to come, 30 years to come, when there will be the need for the school to grow and for them to add more building, they can conserve the land by building on top of this building. It is more expensive doing this way, but because we want to do something that will last for many years to come, we are able to squeeze ourselves in order to start this way. So we have 4 classrooms this way, and then there is the office followed by the staff room. As you can see there, we have some of our students who are also helping to do what is called the backfilling, for them to fill the space with the soil before we put the pavement, before the paving, the cement of the floor. The people of other faiths, they are very happy about our presence and the sort of change that we have brought into the community. So we are still looking forward for the government to really come to our aid, to recruit our teachers and to start paying them. We have been on this fight for many years now. We have not yet succeeded. There have been promises upon promises to get us involved, to get our teachers paid. But up to now, we are still looking forward for the government to come to our aid. But thanks be to God, the schools are being recognized now by the government. The pre-primary school that we can call the nursery school, we have the primary school, we have the junior secondary school, and the senior secondary school. All these ones have been the initiatives of the SMA fathers.
And lastly, we go to Lyon, where there has been a conference on different mission realities. The SMA cannot avoid the realities affecting SMA mission today. It is in this context that the province of Leon has set up a structure of reflection around different themes affecting the current mission realities. The structure began its activities for the year 2023 with its first meeting on Monday, April the 24th.
Here in Lyon, we are in the process of setting up a structure of reflection around the theme of mission. It is a project which aims to bring together researchers, professors, priests in mission, students, lay people, so that together we can think about the problematic of mission in its current dynamics, both at the level of Africa and Europe. We want to provide our society with a scientific body of reflection on the theme of mission. So every month we will have conferences with experts. These conferences are mainly online and are held every last Monday of the month. And at the end of the year, we will have to make a publication to give the conclusion of our work. We started this month with a reflection around the missionary vision of Pope Francis. It was an interesting start, so we invite you all to take an active part in this project.
And so that brings us to the end of our international news for the month of May. We hope that you can join us again next month when we will have new stories about different activities of SMA mission.